for joining us for today's Keloland Living. I'm Ashley Thompson. Mitchell Olson has been stranded in Kansas since Sunday night with the rest of the SDSU fans who took part in the VIP Fanfare Caravan to watch the Jackrabbits take home a second FCS National Championship trophy. The good news is that all 3 buses are working on making their way back home to Keloland. Now the question is, did you manage to dig yourself out from yesterday's snowstorm? You probably saw that we aired an encore show yesterday. Between Mitchell and the VIP Fanfare buses being stranded in Kansas to wait out the storm and a record number of guest cancellations, it was going to be an awfully dull show. So we shuffled all the good parts, and there were plenty of them, into today's show and throughout the rest of the week, so you won't be missing a thing, even though we missed you. Yesterday was a big day here in the Keloland Living studio. That's because we celebrated our 6th birthday. Keloland Living first premiered on January 8th, 2018. So we thought it would be fun to take stock in just how far this little lifestyle show has come since we started. We have brought viewers more than 7,200 segments since we started. That helped us fill 1,448 shows. There have been 5 hosts, including our latest Mitchell Olson, who's on his way back to Keloland. And we've had 4 community shows and 4 arts and crafts shows. That's apparently a number we really like because we've also had 4 videographers, 4 directors, and 4 audio engineers on our production staff. We certainly couldn't forget our 2 associate producers and 1 executive producer. We even saved some birthday cake for you here. Look at how good this looks. And we're so glad to have you guys on this journey with us. Luckily, this cake's not got a bunch of candles. We've got fire on the show later, though, so you want to keep paying attention. And in honor of our 6th day, we've also launched the first of what we hope will be some very popular Keloland Living merchandise in our online fanware store. Our online fanware store is now open online for your shopping pleasure. Inside, you'll find Keloland Living and Keloland t-shirts, sweatshirts, and hoodies telling the world that you're from Keloland and proud of it. There are plenty of styles, colors, and sizes to choose from for men, women, and the kids. And don't forget what we think is the best merchandise in the shop, the items that announce that you're living your best life in Keloland. Speaking of merch, South Dakota State University football fans now have the opportunity to own some new merchandise. The National Bobblehead Hall of Fame and Museum has unveiled a pair of officially licensed limited edition bobbleheads commemorating the Jackrabbits 2023 FCS Football National Championship. On Sunday, the Jackrabbits became back-to-back national championships after capturing their 2nd national championship in program history by defeating the Montana Grizzlies in Frisco, Texas, to complete a perfect 15-0 season. The bobbleheads are now available for pre-order. The bobbleheads features South Dakota State's mascot, Jack the Jackrabbit, standing on the official 2023 FCS Football National Champions logo. The bobbleheads are available in blue and white jerseys. All you need to do is scan the QR code on the screen to get linked to the National Bobblehead Hall of Fame's online order page. The bobbleheads, which are expected to ship in May, are available there. As we mentioned earlier, my trusty co-host Mitchell Olson and his band of weary Jackrabbit fans are finally making their way back to Keloland after being snowed in Mulvane, Kansas for an extra day. With all that extra downtime, Mitchell managed to send back some more video and pictures of all the fun he and his 136 fans are having since the SDSU Jackrabbits have locked down a 2nd FCS National Championship.
Well, here we are, stuck in Kansas for just one more day. The snow is preventing us from getting back to Sioux Falls, but it's not preventing these Jackrabbit fans from having a lot of fun here at the hotel. So first things first, we had to make a trip to Walmart to try to get enough supplies to have a party. Throughout the day, people were eating snacks, playing card games, and watching TV. And later that night, I showed clips from when I was on Survivor and The Price is Right. We even watched another game last night in our breakfast room. Wish us luck and go Jackrabbits!
Mitchell's been sending me texts since he's been stranded as well, just telling me how much fun that he's having with all the SDSU fans on the trip. It's really fun to get to know people on these long bus rides, and this bus ride turned out to be quite a lot longer than he had planned on it being, but he said they're having fun and keeping their spirits high. Now that the college football season is officially over, it's time to turn our attention to one of the biggest events of 2024, Super Bowl 58 on CBS, live from Las Vegas. After this weekend's end-of-the-season games, we're getting closer to Super Bowl Sunday on February 11th, according to our handy Super Bowl countdown calendar here. There are just 33 days remaining until the big game. On this date in 2000, Miami Dolphins quarterback Dan Marino won his last career NFL game against the Seattle Seahawks with a final score of 20-17. This weekend, the trek to the tourney begins with wild card play. The 6 games for the wild card round have the Green Bay Packers facing off against the Dallas Cowboys, the Los Angeles Rams at the Detroit Lions, and the Philadelphia Eagles at Tampa Bay in the NFC. The San Francisco 49ers have a bye for this round. In the AFC, the Cleveland Browns are at the Houston Texans, the Miami Dolphins face the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are at the Buffalo Bills. The Baltimore Ravens advance in the playoffs with the first round bye. Wild Card Weekend will feature games on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We've got a lot more coming up on today's show, so we certainly hope you're going to hang out with us for the next hour. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in 1 minute.
This salute to our nation is sponsored by Home Furniture. Shop in store or online at homefurniture.com.
Have you ever held a slice of banana bread so moist that it rivals a waterfall cascading into your mouth? So bursting with flavor that it makes your eyes squint in pure bliss? That, my friends, is the ultimate comfort food, a bread born from humble bananas and transformed into a culinary symphony. Now, hold on before you accuse me of hyperbole, because today's guest, Nathan Moss, is about to take us on a journey to bake the nirvana of banana breads. Forget dry, crumbly imposters. We're talking pillowy softness, gooey banana pockets, and a golden crust that sings a siren song to your taste buds. And in case you don't remember, I will remind you that he is one of the 2 hosts of a podcast that celebrates all things banana bread. So much so that they have managed to come out with their first cookbook with over 100, yes, you heard that right, 100 different recipes for banana bread. Welcome.
Thank
How
you.
do you like that nirvana of banana breads?
That was quite the intro. Yeah, I hope we can live up to that.
I like to do that on this show. Okay,
Yeah.
So I've been told, you told me that our producer picked out one of the most complicated
Yes,
breads
it was one that Zeke came up with, and it is one of the most complicated. It has I honestly don't even know if I'd have to probably read the recipe.
Refer to the book that we have. But what is the essence of this bread?
So it's a sweet potato banana bread. It has pecans in it. It has sweet potato. It has almond flour. It has sour cream. It has milk. It has a lot of things.
You can get the book, but
that's a lot of things.
What you're doing is so it's a sweet potato, and you've got a marshmallow topping.
With
I'm getting a Thanksgiving Day dinner vibe.
Yeah, no, that's what we made it for, and it's been a pretty popular bread, especially because you can put marshmallows on top of it and then light them on fire.
And who doesn't love fire?
Exactly.
Okay, so once you have the bread here, are we gonna keep it in here?
Yeah, let's take it out.
We take it out? Okay.
Yeah,
how do you?
So just we can flip it.
Just flip it?
Look, I only lost a couple nuts.
That's not bad. Yeah. We're dealing with what we have, right? Okay.
So we're going to try to put that on there. You can either scoop it with a spoon, and we can try to like scoop. I kind of like 3 little like plumps.
All right.
But let's just see how it goes.
That's a pro tip.
There you go. And then maybe
we use the other spoon.
Yeah. There you go.
So now, how much about cooking and baking did you know before?
We knew. I spent quite a bit of time during the pandemic baking, so I had a bit of experience, but not really enough to think I was a chef. But after we spent months making banana breads, we feel like we became a little bit of an expert on it anyway.
I like that. Okay.
Hey, that's pretty good.
All right. So now, what would you like?
You can put those back in there.
Put those back in here,
and then let's turn that on.
Turn this on?
Yeah.
You don't even have to...
No, well, we can spread it. What do you want?
Should you?
I like the plumps. But
all right, I'm ready.
Yeah, all right, so turn this, and then click that little...
Click it? Oh.
There you go. Okay. Just don't do it too much till it starts on fire. But we'll just get a little bit of flame going.
Like nice little toasty marshmallow.
Exactly.
This is a nice
See, that looks nice and pretty. I like that. And then see how they fluff up a little bit,
Oh, they do fluff up a little. Okay.
All right, let's blow that out.
Oh, okay. That's key. You don't want the fire to keep going.
All right, so there we go. That's
perfect.
You could spread it across. I kind of like the big piles of
I actually do too, and you're probably right, because what you do is I think you have a tendency to start spreading and to start getting a mess and overworking it, and you really can't recover, but this is like intentional.
Yeah, exactly. It looks sort of intentional, yeah. So
perfect.
What do you think? Should we cut down down the middle?
Yeah.
All right, let's just see what it looks like. Plus you get that nice look of...
Yeah, look at that.
There you go. Look at that. There we go. Turn it that way.
Okay. Now I expect you to cut a slice.
Should we taste
Yeah.
it? No. This is your slice and this is mine.
There's just, we can do this. This is our bread today.
Yeah, exactly. None of our co-hosts showed up, so.
So let's take, I'm going to take a big bite. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to warn you, I'm not going to be able to talk to you for just a minute. So tell me some more about your cookbook that's new while I do this.
So we have over 100 banana breads. We sold out of our first print. And
that's really good. I wasn't expecting that.
The marshmallow is great, plus sweet potato, plus bananas. You can't beat it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have a reorder on that, and they'll be coming soon, next week or two, and then. But yeah, it's been greatly received, and people love banana breads. So
we're looking at a few other print of your banana breads. They look really good.
Everyone seems to have their favorite banana bread. We kind of went beyond the traditional banana breads and really went into some new, different ideas. But we just wanted to make a book that helped people like experiment in the kitchen with banana bread or just baking in general. So that's kind of the idea of the book.
Okay, so let me take a look at the book.
Yeah.
When you go through it, you're going to see, I'm going to keep eating though.
Go ahead.
I mean, I'm not just tasting. Oh, really good.
Yes,
okay.
So we have...
You're kind of going through and you've got some different kind of themes that you can kind of look for.
Yeah, there's themes. We also did some that are kind of interesting, which maybe we talked about last time, the actually raised banana bread, I think.
Okay.
And those were fun. And then in the very front, that's our slogan there, bake your own mistakes.
Yeah, bake your own mistakes. I like that. So the science here with the raised banana bread being that there's like a yeast method involved?
Yep. Yeah, this is just a traditional one.
Right.
And then we kind of went through and made a couple drizzles. And I did bring one with
so what's
today.
a drizzle when we talk drizzles?
Drizzles are basically just sugar plus a liquid, powdered sugar, I guess, plus a liquid, and then this one has vanilla, but you could put almond in it. We melt chocolate, which usually doesn't have a liquid with it, or just maybe a warmed up jam jelly that you just sprinkle over the top. I like to sprinkle versus a glaze, I think spreads over the whole thing.
Is there a scientific method between a glaze and a drizzle and a sprinkle?
Yes, it is. The scientific method is that however thick you want it to be, that's how much milk you add.
But now, dig into me with the bread here, because the perfect ways, you've tried all these recipes. What are your top tips for really when it comes to an application to any banana bread that's going to make it better?
More eggs, I've found, is really good. If you like a fluffier, like this is a fluffier bread. 2 to 3 eggs. 3 eggs will make a nice one. If you don't overbeat it, so you want it to actually have some air in it. You don't want it to, because if you overbeat it, you'll get a very dense bread. And then just make sure that you're checking it with a toothpick or a temperature to make sure you have enough time with it. Yeah.
Have you experimented at all with the effect that an acid has with the baking soda?
Yeah, we have messed with that, and you will see that because we make a lemon one, and when you add the baking soda right in it, you'll see the reaction quite quickly, and sometimes that will affect the rise a little bit, so you want to get that in the oven pretty quickly.
Right, I mean, so because you have to look at sort of the base acidity of the bread, and a lemon being an acid in itself is going to make more of a reaction with the baking soda, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe those that are less acidic, you would maybe want to have the baking powder instead that has kind of that added to it.
Yeah.
Quite the journey you're on, though.
No, it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
All right, well, and I've got snacks, so thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks
for having us on.
Go grab your whisk, preheat your oven, and prepare for a warm embrace of flavor if you're going to be baking up some banana bread on this cold, wintry day. And while you wait to bake not just banana bread, but memories, smiles, and pure, unadulterated comfort, we'll meet you right back here in 2.5 minutes. We're all familiar with fashion's golden rule. Never mix a stripe and a dot. And even more so, you cannot wear 2 prints together in one outfit without looking like Punky Brewster. What if I told you that there are ways to make multiple patterns work without looking like you walked off the set of a sitcom? Today we're being joined by Stacy and Leslie Malmgren. They're co-owners of Love Marlowe in Sioux Falls. They're here to show us just how we can wear those patterns while looking and feeling our best and brightest. Welcome.
Hi.
I like to say there's no rules in fashion.
There's no rules. Throw out all your rules because there are no rules.
There's no rules. I can wear white after Labor Day.
Absolutely.
Stripes.
Any stripes.
And horizontal.
Horizontal stripes are fine too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Stripes are very flattering.
So we've thrown the rules out, and now you've brought some different looks that you're going to walk us through for ways to at least enter that realm of mixing patterns. Maybe you're going to go a little farther with it sometimes on your own, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So our first outfit that we have, it has dainty floral patterns. And to get the pattern mixed in, we included it in the accessory.
Okay.
So the accessory is amazing because it has the stripes in it. And then the floral pattern is just super dainty. The stripes are super dainty, and it's a small pattern. So this is an easy way to add pattern into a wardrobe without feeling overwhelmed by patterns.
Now,
too.
I'm noticing that some of the coloring is the same. Is that a tip if you want to mix patterns to try to go light colors?
We like to.
Okay.
Especially like same tones, because then that's just going to make the whole outfit come together.
Well, and because not everybody is super comfortable adding in patterns or mixing patterns, the easiest way to do it is by mixing similar colors into the patterns.
Definitely a nice like entrance point is keep the
Exactly.
coloring the same and mix the patterns.
And then when you're comfortable, go wild.
Okay. Yeah. That's my plan.
So our next outfit we have, I'm going to start with the pants because these are amazing. These are Spanx activewear leggings. They are super, super soft. They have smoothers to them. And you can see they have a super fun, bright color to them and bright pattern.
Yeah.
So we should not be afraid of wearing pattern on bottom either.
Okay.
And then to tie in the other pattern, we grabbed this kimono, this cardigan that has a bigger stripe.
It's a nice texture.
Yep. So on this one, we have a bigger pattern, and then we added a bolder pattern, and we even added a bigger pattern, and it's a little bit more simple to kind of tie everything together. So then the two patterns don't clash.
So would you call this, did you call this a bigger pattern too? Or
bolder
bolder pattern and the bigger pattern, because we had the two smaller patterns together.
Yep.
Can you mix any kind of pattern together, or should you stick small to small, big to big?
So we like to do opposites. So like smaller pattern mixed with a larger pattern, because then it like is a little bit softer on the eye.
Okay.
And it's a little bit easier to mix and match, because like a bigger stripe like this is a little bit easier to, include into a more bolder pattern.
Okay. And you'd wear those as regular pants, not just the athletic way.
Oh my gosh, no.
Yeah.
Athleisure is totally a thing. So you should totally wear these active leggings out running errands and going and getting coffee and running the kids around. So definitely wear them any time of day.
Plus, let's be honest, they're so comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to want to wear
We're
them
not
every
ready
chance
for
you
real
get.
clothes yet anyway.
No.
Okay,
Yeah, no.
What's the next outfit?
So the next outfit is the skirt with the tank and the cardigan.
Okay.
So
And this skirt? Oh, I like that.
Right? And we
That's
were
really
loving
fun.
the stripes on stripes, because sometimes when you see similar patterns, you're a little nervous to add the same pattern together. But we're loving that it's a more symmetrical
yeah, okay.
pattern on the bottom, and then it's a stripe and they're a little closer together. And then with the cardigan over the top too, it just
Kind of makes it
mellows
blend.
it down, and then the cardigan itself has a little bit of texture to it too. So it's even like another type of pattern with like adding the texture to it.
With the texture, okay.
Uh-huh.
Would it be? I mean, I like the black because it's a little neutral to help subdue it too. But what if I had like this mint green color in a cardigan?
Oh my
Would that be
gosh.
too much?
Do it. No,
Okay,
do it for
not
sure.
too much. Okay.
Yep.
Have you ever put an extra pattern? Like, what if I have a floral cardigan? Too much?
Not at all.
Okay.
That would be super cute, especially if it's like a bigger floral pattern. It would be super, super cute. And let's face it, there's so many like florals and stripes mixed together. So do it. And again, with fashion, it's supposed to be like fun and comfortable, and there's no rules. So if pattern mixing feels comfortable to you, do it.
But sometimes I hear that you go a little far with it, and
You know, sometimes people tell you that you should probably change, but if it feels right to you, just rock it.
Okay. What has been the most, like the boldest pattern clashing you've done that you've been told maybe by your sister that?
So I did a tie-dye, and what was it the other day? And you were like, was it a tie-dye and a stripe? And it was just, I think it was the color combination that was just a little too much.
Okay. But worth a try, worth a try.
Yeah.
And you've got a couple of bags here too?
Yeah.
Okay, so
even like with the last outfit, the bag has texture to it and pattern to it too, with like the studs and the leather detail with the stitching. So like you can even add in textures and colors and patterns into the accessories with the bags. And this is such a cute, lightweight backpack. And who doesn't love a backpack that you can just
it's really trendy right now too. And then the other bag here.
Yep, it's just a really nice, you can either do a shoulder strap or a clutch. And it has tons of pockets. It has...
We did go a little bit more neutral in the color. And then again, it's just a texture type of thing, so that if you're feeling like it's not very approachable as far as mixing in another pattern, then you can just add in a really subtle purse or accessory.
But it still has that metallic sheen.
Yeah.
So it's a little something extra.
Yeah.
So we're mixing different patterns together, and that's okay. We're going to do that, and we're going to mix a lot of them. Are there any color rules that play into that? Are you not supposed to mix black and blue or brown and black, or?
So navy, black, brown, gray, those are all neutrals. So you can easily mix and match all of those colors. I did it on myself too, where I mixed gray with the blue. So like you can easily mix and match any neutrals and then add a fun pop of color to, you know, spice up your outfit.
I try to stay away from mixing black with navy.
Okay.
But it really just depends on the tones, because I said I was never going to do it. And then the other day I caught myself again wearing it, because the tone of the navy was just different enough where it was almost more of a blue versus a black navy.
So it was a little bit more of a pop instead.
So I guess the rule is never say never, and if it works, it works.
I like that rule. Never say never. Maybe tomorrow we'll do some power clashing, mixing some patterns and stripes. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
We'll be right back after this. We're all getting into the swing of things when it comes to 2024, but if one of your aspirations for the year is to get healthy, have you considered the new scam opportunities that may come with that? Jessie Schmidt is the Vice President of the Better Business Bureau South Dakota region. She's on set with me today to break down a few things the BBB knows you should keep an eye out for your journey to health, covering everything from advice on how not to join a sketchy gym to how to recognize when a meal plan delivery service may be too good to be true. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so right now when we're talking about getting healthy, it's pretty easy to get lured in by a quick fix, by something that looks like it's endorsed by somebody you trust, but there's some things to watch for.
There are always things to watch for, yes, and fine print to be diligent about.
Now, often when you come and you talk to us about a scam or some fraudulent activities that are prevalent, we're talking about things that we need to watch out for, but that there are protections for, because if it's real fraud, oftentimes our banks are going to help us out. But terms and conditions, some things might be a fraud, some things might be scams, but if you're actually signing up for something, you don't have a lot of help.
Right. I mean, that's why, you know, it's so important to really take a deep dive into what it is that you are signing up for. And just because there's a celebrity endorsement, I'm using that very, very loosely, celebrities, their name, image, and likeness is stolen all the time.
Right.
And so we've talked about that over the last several years as well. So be cautious of that. If somebody's selling you a gummy that's going to help you lose 35 pounds in 7 days, we're going to tell you there are no quick fixes out there. And what are you really signing up for? Is it a long-term commitment, right? Are you going to get something delivered every month, you know, until the cows come home?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you have to be very diligent in what it is that you're looking at and do a deep dive into those terms and conditions.
So let's start maybe in the category of gyms.
Right. Right. So really, what are your fitness goals, and does joining a gym make the most sense for you? You know, oftentimes gyms have like a free trial membership, or you can come and work out a couple times for free. Nobody should ever feel coerced into making a long-term commitment. We know that oftentimes people will make commitments this time of year, and by March they've waned a little bit. So just, you know, go in eyes wide open. A gym membership might be perfect for you. Just know what it is that you're getting into. Particularly maybe if it's not a familiar brand to you. Right. If it's new to the community, if it's new to you. But again, you can always go to bbb.org. If it's a national brand, see what consumers have said about them in the past, and will it be a good fit for you? It sure could be. Let's talk about social media, and the rise of the influencer certainly has impacted a lot of people when they're looking for somebody to give them a quick fix at their health goals. Right, and that can be a wide variety of things. Like I said before, if there's a miracle gummy out there, take these endorsements with a grain of salt. Right now we're seeing Kelly Clarkson on just about everything. Well, there's true video out there, not AI enhanced video about what she really did. So, and if you're going to sign on to something, a pill, a gummy, what's in it? Really read those ingredients lists online first if you can. But then when you get it, you want to make sure it has all the things that it said it was going to have when you did it. There's just, sometimes we're looking for a quick solution when really there are no quick solutions to your health. I think that it's probably pretty tricky. Sometimes people can get pretty tripped up by the language where something might say, this was studied. 3 studies done. Well, were the studies paid for by the company that made the product? Right. Who did the studies, right? So you might see more of those red flags on a Better Business Bureau type thing, where somebody who's gotten the product and said, this isn't working, this isn't working, this isn't working, and reporting it repeatedly to the Better Business Bureau? Right, and sometimes if there's enough involved, a government action can get, come into play as well, because there are enough incidents, they get reported to the community's attorney general's office, or to the city or the state, whatever it is. So bbb.org is a really good resource for all of those things. And again, you can look at the reviews, you can look at the complaints. Some of them might be glowing. So, just eyes wide open as to what it is that you're going to take a deep dive into. Yeah, you talked to us a lot on this show about scams and fraud and things, but there's also business practices. Absolutely. Are you easy to deal with? Will you cancel my membership if I ask you to? Right, exactly. And so many times, regardless of what it is that you sign up for, whether that's a gym, whether it's a meal plan kit, whether it's a vitamin supplement, what is the long-term implications? How long are you signing up for? So again, for these meal kits, they were great for lots of people. What is the process? And you have to tell yourself, are we going to use this? Because there's nothing worse than spending money on a meal kit and then you don't use it and you end up throwing it in the trash. Really, that's just throwing good money after bad. We've done that before. And know what your skill level is too, right? If you're pretty handy, or do you need everything to be just cut up and ready to dump in because you have a busy lifestyle, right? And if it's a good company, it's worth trying if you think you like it. But are you signing up for 2 years that you can never get out of? Therein lies the problem. Right? Read those terms and conditions. How long and over how long is this discount that you're getting? Is it over your first box, or is it over the first 25 boxes? Well, then you're into a long-term commitment. And that's okay too, if you know what it is you're getting into. You also say really free trials should be something you're very wary of. I just don't think there's very many free trials out there that are worthwhile. I think that those roll over into a subscription very, very quickly. And subscriptions aren't bad. You just need to know what they are. You still have to put all your credit card information in there. And again, we would say that you have to read the terms and conditions, use a credit card versus a debit card, especially if you have any concerns about what it is that you're ordering. I think a free trial, fine, take advantage of it. But you should probably just assume you're planning to do the rest of it. As if that's your plan, like, I'm going to take the free trial, but I'm planning to do the rest. Right, exactly. Because there's a lot of terms and conditions with those free trials too, right? Sometimes by the time you get it, you already have had to send it back if you're not interested. So it can just snowball quickly. It can. Well, thank you very much for being here today. Thanks for having me.
We're sitting down across the table from someone we think you're going to want to know right after this short break. Stay with us. This Keloland Living segment is sponsored by JJ's Wine, Spirits, and Cigars, locally owned since 1998, a true mom and pop shop. Gary Miller, the founder of the New York Gay Men's Chorus, once said, "If you want to sing, join a chorus. If you want to change the world, join a gay chorus." That's because if you are in a choir in high school or college, your chances to raise your voice and raise the roof are likely limited to a local church choir or maybe a community theater production or two. That's just one of the reasons why the Rainbow Chorus of Sioux Falls has added so many voices to its ranks in its first year. Our very own Mitchell Olson recently sat down with Bo McGregor, the group's founder, to find out more about why the people who fill the seats of this all-volunteer LGBTQIA2S+ choir, including allies, are so important to creating harmony.
Thank you so much for joining me, Bo. We're here at JJ's. I'm drinking the same thing you are.
Yep.
It's a mocktail. It's called Katie's Cocktail. It's delicious. I love it.
Yummy.
So cheers to you.
Cheers. Thanks for the recommendation.
Of course, of course.
Mocktail.
So, I always like to find out where people are from. Where are you from?
Salem, South Dakota. It's about 30 miles west on I-90
Okay.
of Sioux Falls.
How long have you lived in Sioux Falls?
I've lived in Sioux Falls since 2020. I lived in Massachusetts for about 4 years in 2016, 2020.
Okay, so
Yep.
what brought you there? School?
Kind of, yeah. So I had a friend that I met in college who was from Massachusetts, and he sent me with a job there, and I moved there for a few years.
All right.
Yep.
So you got kind of a taste of the East Coast.
Yes.
And did you like it?
I love it. I love how abrasive and upfront they are too.
Yes.
Very different than the Midwest. Nice, but I just like how upfront they are. So.
Yeah, I noticed that too, but I loved coming back to South Dakota where for some reason it just seems to be more my pace, and I fell back in love with this state.
Yep.
And so what brought you back to South Dakota? COVID did. Okay.
Just want to be with family, pretty much.
Okay, well that's an interesting positive, I guess, that comes out of it,
is.
at least for the city of Sioux Falls, because you are doing some cool things in this city, and I appreciate it for one. I've only recently have heard about this. I don't know why it took me this long to get on the bandwagon for the Rainbow Chorus.
Yep.
The Rainbow Chorus is something that you co-created.
Correct.
And just tell us a little bit about the Rainbow Chorus.
The Rainbow Chorus is an LGBTQ+ friendly chorus, and we welcome all members within the LGBTQ+ spectrum. Whether you're gay, straight, lesbian, ally, we welcome everyone. And we have a concert coming up, performing on January 18th at the Sioux Falls Pride Gala.
Oh, okay, cool. What kind of music do you guys primarily focus on?
Right now, it's Broadway music.
Okay.
So we have a lot of hits coming up. We are singing a medley from Mamma Mia and Phantom of the Opera, Seasons of Love from Rent, and many more.
Okay, I saw online the different genres that you choose from. They all seem to kind of fit into the genres that I love. I mean, there was pop music.
Yep.
You kind of tend to go toward that, right?
Yep.
There's Broadway. What's another genre that you seem to
We did spiritual in the summer too. We did This Little Light of Mine, and we did some new choir songs.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So what made you want to start the Rainbow Chorus?
When I moved back to Sioux Falls, I joined the Sioux Empire Pride Sports Association, and that's a LGBTQ+ friendly sports organization where we play bowling and softball, and that started, I think, in 2019.
Yeah.
So I was like, if we have this, why don't we start a choir that welcomes everyone, just like the Sioux Empire Pride Sports Association.
Yeah.
So back in December, I was doing karaoke at Club David with some good friends of mine, and we said, why don't we do this? You know, our city is going through its own personal renaissance, we feel like, and let's do it here. Sioux Falls is a city, and we need something like this.
Okay, I saw online, there's tons of people who come to the rehearsals. I mean, this isn't just like a couple of, this isn't a 4-piece quartet. I mean, this is a large group of people. How many people do you get in attendance?
Currently, we have 57 people in our choir, and we have tenor, bass, soprano, and alto.
Wow, I mean, that's huge.
Yes.
That's big.
Yeah.
And I heard the music too. You guys sound great.
Thank you.
Who's the director?
Del Hubers, he's the artistic director. He's a fifth grade fifth grade band director at Brandon Valley.
Okay.
Yep.
So what does something like this mean for the gay community in Sioux Falls?
It means a lot. I mean, a lot of people that joined just recently came out too. We had what was our coming out concert, and some of our members spoke at the concert and told their personal coming out stories too. And the Rainbow Chorus meant a lot because they could finally find a community where they felt comfortable and seen and just make new friends.
Wow. You also have an interesting job outside of, making big things happen here in Sioux Falls. You have a real job, and tell us what that is.
Yes, I work for the Sioux Falls School District, and I'm the Pyramid Model Implementation Specialist, and I work for the Early Childhood Head Start classrooms, and it's a systems-wide approach to prevent challenging behavior and to promote social emotional well-being with young children.
Wow, that's an important
It's a mouthful.
job. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so you say that at parties regularly.
Oh, for sure, yes. I can't say I'm just a teacher, so there's a lot that goes into it, but it's basically like a social emotional curriculum that we're trying to implement in the early childhood classrooms.
Okay, I think that's important.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially, I love that things like this are happening like now. I think back to my parents' age and how different it was. But This is great that there's so many programs like this, and I appreciate you for being here to be part of it.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks. COVID brought you here, so we appreciate that. Cheers to COVID.
Cheers
for one
to COVID.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
JJ's Wine, Spirits, and Cigars is Sioux Falls' premier adult beverage retailer with the widest selection of premium wines, spirits, and beer in the region. They're located at 3000 West 57th Street in Sioux Falls. It's time for indoor fun. Have you checked out JJ's Axes and Ales lately? They offer axe throwing for small and large groups, pool steel, tipped darts, shuffleboard, and plenty of beverage options. Book your next outing or event with JJ's Axes and Ales. Visit jjsaxes.com for more information. This Keloland Living segment has been sponsored by JJ's Wine, Spirits, and Cigars. Locally owned since 1998, a true mom and pop shop. We've got more Keloland Living coming up right after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is your Keloland News Update. Rapid City Police are currently asking for the public's help locating two people allegedly connected to a shooting. Last night, police were dispatched to a residence for a report of a shooting. A man was found with a gunshot wound and transported to the hospital with serious, non-life-threatening injuries. Police are currently trying to locate Brandy Highwolf and Brittany Rodriguez for questioning. They may be armed and should not be approached. That's a look at today's headlines. Join us at 4.
Over my tenure on the show, the weather has sometimes led us to have a solo host, and today is another case. Mitchell and the Jacks fans are working their way back to Keloland after an exciting win for the Jacks in Frisco. Our guest hosts are all a little busy playing catch-up after the recent snowfall, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't contemplate breaking out the snowshoes to get in. But, as they say, the show must go on. And that's why today I get to play Bob Ross. That's right, I'm teaching you how you can create a one-of-a-kind piece of art using gouache paint and a bit of tape. So without further ado, let's get started on those happy little trees, or should we say happy little fruit bowls. So here's a couple of examples of what I've done with these. It's more of a maybe an abstract representation of some birch trees, and then this would be a pretty easy apple. And they're really easy to do. You need this kind of paint, and you really could do this with a lot of kinds of paint. And I got a pretty affordable set of this gouache paint. And what I could say about it is that it is similar to a watercolor in consistency, but it is a much more opaque paint. So it can really do some nice flat things, but still pretty opaque with it. So you could use an acrylic or any other kind of paint, but this is pretty easy. Now, the way that I'm doing it really easily is by using tape. For the apple, I just actually cut out an apple shape. You can see here if I hold it up. And after I did that, I just drew around it on my piece of paper and then put tape around the edges to mask it off. Now for the trees, which is the one I'm working on here, I have a piece of paper, and this is watercolor paper. You definitely want to use something that can really take a lot of water or some of that consistency on it. You could use a canvas or something too. And then I have masking tape. And I'm taking masking tape and I'm just using it as strips to mask off the pieces that I want to be the trees. And then as I'm coming in on this one, you can see I have 2 thicker ones on the outside, so I put those on the thicker one there. And then I get thinner as I come in, kind of creating a little bit of that depth of field. As you look down a row of trees, they're getting thinner and pushed farther back. So just to do that part, and I have one little piece here, I am just taking a piece of tape and cutting it in half. And it doesn't really have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the exact right size, because trees in a forest, like Bob said, they're happy little trees. Happy little trees, not perfect little trees. Okay, so once you do that, I think the key is to kind of determine a color palette that you want to go with. And I happen to like really vibrant colors mixed together and fun, patterns. But if you wanted this to match, you could have like a pastel palette, you could have neutrals if you wanted, but either way. Now I'm just taping this to my table because it's easier to do and get off afterward, but you need to do that. And then you don't actually need to add very much water to this paint. You can, but then it will be less opaque. So what I do is I get my brush wet, but I immediately blot it off before, because I don't want a lot of water in it. And so I'm gonna start out right in the center. I want a lot of pink, so I'm gonna start with the pink and then maybe end with the pink. And to do that, I'm gonna mix some white and red together. And again, you can make this whatever colors you want. Now, one of the key things with this kind of paint is that if you put it on too thick, when it dries, it'll crack off on you. And so I'm just gonna start painting. And I just am gonna go across my whole page because it's going to be caught by my tape and not make a mess. Now, another really fun part about this kind of paint is that it is extremely washable. Even if it's all the way dry on your brush, you can wash it off. You can wash it out of your clothes. You can easily wipe it or wash it right off of a table. There aren't very many surfaces that it sticks to well other than like actual paper meant for the paint. So that's a fun thing to do. This is something I'm like pretty comfortable giving my kids because they can keep doing it and I don't really have to pay that much attention to what they're doing. So I'm going to be rinsing my brush as I go at some points, but since it doesn't have to be done in an order, I'm going to take another color that I want to use, which is just going to be the plain red, and it's not going to affect my pink brush here very much. And I'm going to put some red up here at the top. And it's a good idea in my perspective if what you're trying to accomplish is something fun and not too like even looking, is every once in a while just, go back to an area you were, and that's going to give it a lot of a variety. Okay, so I'm going to keep going over this. And the easy part, I'll kind of explain in case I don't get too far, is once you pull these masking tape up, once you do that, you are going to have just the white left behind where the branches, where those logs, stumps are. And then all you have to do is go back in with the black paint and make just, little marks wherever you think like a birch tree would have a mark. And if you're not comfortable using something like paint on a small scale like that, you could certainly use a Sharpie or a black marker or something like that. So I'm going to kind of go in now and mix in some different colors. I really like to get yellows in. Now this is a pretty opaque paint, but one thing that I've noticed about it is some colors, and yellow is one that's often like this, if it's not quite as opaque as you want it, you can certainly go back in and add a little bit of white to it, and white will make any paint you're using more opaque, and that's pretty much true of all paint colors. I'm going to get a little yellow in there. And I think it's really fun if you look back at the apple, if you mask anything off, it could be an animal shape. You could do the state of South Dakota, a map of it. Pretty much kind of the world's your oyster on that, and if you tape it off and then go back over it, you can make all kinds of fun colors. See, these are happy little trees. Happy little trees. I definitely want to add some green. Now, you don't want to be overly literal, perhaps, about this and have it be like just greens and blues like trees, but I'm still going to start my base out with some green because I like to add just a tiny bit of realism to my plan here as I go across. I don't know how Bob Ross did this on a regular basis, you guys. I bet he had somebody telling him he only had 30 seconds left too, but these are the ways of the painting shows on the television here. I'm going to add in some blue up here by my pink. The fun part really is ripping off the masking tape and seeing what's left behind, but obviously you can see here. Okay, it's not done, but I'll give you a flavor for what you would have seen. Ready? There you go. Fill it in with some black and I'll keep working on it over the break. We'll be right back after this. Well, I really hope that I am joined by a co-host tomorrow, but I also hope you enjoyed this show where I took you on a Bob Ross journey all of my own. That being said, if you've got any ideas for segment ideas that we could do on the show, let me know. That's all of our time for today. Thanks for joining us. Be safe and be well. And remember, every day you're Keloland living, you have everything you need to live your best life in Keloland. Content segments during Keloland Living were paid for by the following: JJ's Wine, Spirits, and Cigars, where they can legitimately boast the largest selection of premium and super premium wines in the state of South Dakota, with a special thank you to Bo McGregor of the Sioux Falls Rainbow Chorus. Keloland Living set furniture is provided by Montgomery's in Sioux Falls, Madison, Watertown, and Aberdeen. Remember, Montgomery's offers always free interior design service.